The 2026 World Cup was supposed to be the tournament where new officiating technology finally ended football's oldest arguments. VAR, semi-automated offside, all of it was meant to bring clarity. But with the group stage now over, one disallowed goal involving Portugal has done the exact opposite. Instead of ending controversy, it has created one of the biggest consistency debates of the tournament so far. So what actually happened? Why is this Portugal decision being compared again and again to a totally different incident involving Lionel Messi? And most importantly, what does it tell us about how reliable VAR really is just 4 days before the knockout rounds begin? To understand why this debate has exploded, we have to go back a few days before Portugal's final group match against Colombia. In Houston, Portugal were facing Uzbekistan and had already taken control early. Cristiano Ronaldo opened the scoring in the 6th minute from a João Cancelo cross, and then Nuno Mendes made it 2-0 in the 17th minute with a brilliant free kick. At that point, Portugal looked fully in command. Then came the moment that changed everything. In the 29th minute, Uzbekistan's Aziz Ganyev hit what looked like one of the goals of the tournament. He drove forward through the middle and unleashed a stunning right-footed strike from outside the box into the top corner. For a few seconds, it felt like a historic World Cup moment for Uzbekistan, a team playing in its first-ever tournament. Their bench exploded. Their fans celebrated. It was the kind of goal that should have lived forever. But it didn't count. Portugal's players immediately appealed, arguing there had been a foul in the build-up. Referee Jelal Jade went to the monitor, reviewed the sequence, and decided that a Bosbek Fazliyev had fouled Cancelo before Uzbekistan won possession. The goal was disallowed. Just like that, a potentially iconic World Cup moment vanished, and Portugal's 2-0 lead stayed intact. On its own, that decision already felt harsh to many fans. But the real controversy came from what people compared it to next. In Argentina's 2-0 win over Austria, Lionel Messi scored after Alexis Mac Allister won the ball in midfield from Xaver Schlager. Many viewers believe that challenge looked very similar to the one that had just erased Uzbekistan's goal. There was contact on the man. Then the ball was won, and the attack continued. The difference? Messi's goal stood. That's where the consistency debate really took off. Fans, pundits, and social media all started asking the same simple question. If one build-up foul is enough to cancel a goal, why wasn't the other? And when two situations look broadly similar but produce opposite outcomes, people stop arguing about one isolated call and start questioning the whole system. Some people defended the Portugal decision on pure technical grounds. Owen Hargreaves, on commentary, was pretty clear about it. In his view, it was a foul because the player didn't win the ball cleanly and instead played the man first. Even Uzbekistan's coach basically admitted that, saying the foul before Ganyev's goal was clear and that Portugal didn't have time to reset defensively after it. So this isn't really a case where everyone thinks the Portugal call was wrong in isolation. That's what makes the debate even more interesting. The real issue isn't necessarily whether Uzbekistan's goal should have counted. The bigger issue is whether the exact same level of scrutiny is being applied in every match, to every team, and to every player. Because once a similar incident involving Messi produces a different result, people begin to wonder whether the standard changes depending on who's involved. And that suspicion only grows when you look at the wider tournament. Reports have already highlighted other moments involving Argentina and Messi that added fuel to the fire, including a separate incident against Algeria where Messi was said to have made a studs-up challenge above the ankle on Asa Mandi, but escaped without a card. Whether people agree with that analysis or not, the point is clear. VAR can fix certain objective errors, but it still hasn't solved football's deeper problem of perceived inconsistency. That brings us to Portugal's final group game against Colombia. The match itself ended 0-0, with Colombia topping Group K and Portugal advancing in second. But even in that game, there was another strange VAR-related moment. A goal kick decision was briefly reviewed, and commentators pointed out the bizarre procedural reality that some calls simply can't be reversed once play has restarted in a certain way. On its own, it was minor. But in the middle of an already heated debate, it became just one more example of how confusing officiating can still feel even in the age of advanced technology. And maybe that's a bigger truth here. Football has always had refereeing controversies. Long before VAR, long before goal line technology, long before offside automation, fans were arguing about bias, inconsistency, and big decisions in big matches. What's changed now is not the controversy itself, but the expectation. Technology was supposed to reduce the subjectivity. It was supposed to make the game feel fairer. But the Gagne versus McAllister comparison shows the limit of that promise. Technology can provide better angles. It can slow the moment down frame by frame. It can show exactly where contact happened. But it still can't guarantee that two similar incidents in two different matches involving two very different levels of star power will be judged in exactly the same way. For Uzbekistan, that hurts even more. This was their first ever World Cup, and Gagne's strike should have been one of those unforgettable moments fans talk about for generations. Instead, it's now remembered as a disallowed goal in a debate about officiating. For Portugal, the call didn't really change the bigger picture because they were already in control of that match. But for everyone watching the tournament, it raised a much bigger question heading into the knockout rounds. Can VAR really deliver consistency when the pressure gets even higher? That's where this story becomes more than just one disallowed goal. In the group stage, a controversial decision can change a scoreline or shape a conversation. In the knockout rounds, it can end a nation's entire World Cup. And if the same kind of inconsistency shows up in single elimination matches, then this debate is only going to get louder. So right now, this is where things stand. Portugal are through. Colombia topped the group. Uzbekistan are out, but their disallowed wonder goal remains one of the most talked about officiating moments of the tournament. And 4 days before the knockout rounds begin, the uncomfortable reality is this. VAR may have improved football, but it still hasn't removed the human element that creates these arguments in the first place. And maybe that's why this comparison refuses to go away. Because at its heart, this isn't just about Portugal or Uzbekistan or even Messi. It's about whether fans can truly trust that the same rules are being applied the same way to everyone when the biggest moments arrive.